The sky was burning. The clouds red with twisted fire. Lightning moving across them. And they descended upon everything. Like a furious battle between God and Satan, good and evil. Like a fire vortex.
What is up,
Hello.
everyone? Welcome
Oh,
back
shit.
to SGL for the second match of the night between Timbers Army and the locals. This is the only Bazaar. I'm going to be kicking off this stream real quick, and we should be getting into the match very soon. But before I do, I want to introduce you to the co-commentator in the booth. With me, I have Luis of El Matador. Luis, how you doing?
Yo, what's going on, Maz? Going really well. Really excited for tonight's game. Got two really good teams, and yeah, it should be a blast. Welcome everybody. Welcome to the stream, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it, Maz.
Yeah, I do apologize for starting the stream a little bit late. That's on me. Hopefully you guys understand if you guys, are following along with what was happening a few minutes ago. Let's say some flowers were not picked, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, the first series of the day was Steel Army facing ECRC. We saw ECRC take the W in 4 there, but tonight, Maz, we have two really exciting teams, and I'm really looking forward to the series.
Indeed, and we're kicking off right now. Here we go. Timbers Army versus the locals in Manfield. And Timbers Army are getting put on the back foot immediately as Becky Ducky goes for a shot on net. But they seem to have calmed things down, and now Rydog kicks off the attack for them.
Rydog, one of the standout players for this Portland Timbers team. We saw last week, Maz, an incredible double touch he had against LAFC in that nail-biting Game 5 loss for the Portland Timbers. As we see a great passing play here out of the San Diego boys. Really strong start for both teams to this game.
Absolutely, and I predict this to be the match of the week personally, given how close these two have been in the past. They've already had a Game 5 last season. It was a reverse sweep from Timbers Army. Who knows, we might see something similar right here.
Yeah, hopefully we see something similar as a neutral, as we do see a missed shot there come in from the Portland Timbers side. So far, I'm actually really liking the pace of the game, as we do see a whiff from Rydog in net. A little scrappy play here in defense for Timbers Army, but they get it clear.
Now, one thing I find interesting, Luis, is Timbers Army is starting with AGD Delight. Not someone who I was expecting to start. I thought they would have their strongest three in Piglet, Nelly, and Rydog, but this time they have AGD Delight starting instead. How do you think that'll affect the dynamic of this whole match?
Yeah, obviously, anytime you're making changes to your lineups, there's always going to be chemistry questions. It's all about adjusting those chemistry questions and just having good comms. So if they have good comms, they should be fine. As we see a shot there from Nelly, great double save there out of Mecky Ducky and Doughboy. Mecky Ducky is one of my favorite players in the league. Not only rocking the Batmobile, but just one of the better players that we have in SGL.
And he's really showing his ability with the Batmobile too. In my opinion, it's one of the hardest cars to master. And if you do master the Batmobile, you're definitely a very good Rocket League player. And Mecky Ducky's certainly showing that right here.
Yeah, that Batmobile is actually one of the cars that I wish I had in my inventory. I'm missing that, so hopefully when it comes back around the shop we get it, because yes, one of the best cars in the game, but also one of the hardest cars in the game. So always good to see people using non-Fennec, non-Octane cars in our league. as we do see a great shot from him there, utilizing the length of the Batmobile there, and great save out of TA.
We're seeing some terrific attacks from locals right now. They're just not able to get that goal because the Timbers Army have done very well at the goal line so far. One player at the near post, one player coming in from the back post. That ensures they have the goal covered. However, if they keep defending like this, Luis, do you see... Well, I'm going to take that back. We do see the locals eventually getting a goal. Cage Boy, a.k.a. KJ, with a 100-kilometer-per-hour shot into the back of the net.
Yeah, an incredible shot with 0 boost at a very tight angle. Beautiful placement by KJ. That's what we've come accustomed to seeing out of him in SDL, and he starts off the series with the opening goal.
And as the very famous, very loved Alan Panaring would say, 60 miles per hour on the BangersOnly.com radar gun. We miss you, Alan. We love you, man. We hope you can come back to SGL and get involved again. As Becky Ducky gets it with another banger of a shot. 72 miles per hour on Alan's BangersOnly.com radar gun. Woo!
Yeah, and that's one of those shots there from Meki Ducky, hitting that exact point on the Batmobile that gives you that extra power that you would normally not get on any sort of normal shot off of the corners of the car there. Great placement by Meki Ducky, and the locals are flying here.
Indeed, and it's those 2 goals that really make a big difference. I feel like... Okay, Luis, you gotta tell me this. Do you think Timbers Army will regret sitting back the way they did earlier on?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I actually thought in the first minute they started off quite strong and on the front foot. They just seem to have lost control of the game on a double coming out of them there. It's just not as cohesive as we've seen, especially in that first series against Black Army. So it's still a long series to go, but so far it's all locals.
Absolutely, and Meki Ducky's really turning up right now and taking over. It helps when you have 2 good teammates who can give you that platform in Aquatic and KJ. But Meki Ducky's making the most of this, and he's really showing why he is one of the best Rocket League players in SGL this season.
Yeah, great read as well there on the backboard with limited boost from Meki Ducky there that would have prevented what would have been almost a sure goal for TA. And yeah, if you're the locals, you're really liking where you're at right now. You're up 2, you're keeping the pressure up, rotations are great, and yeah, they're cruising.
One thing I want to say, though, is Timbers Army have not really looked that bad. You know, they just got down to 2 goals because of those 2 shots that the locals had, you know, with a bit of time and space. But other than that, I feel like they haven't done too badly, even with AGD Delight coming in for Piglet. What do you think they're missing right now, though, Luis?
Yeah, it's just a little frantic. We've seen some double commits come out of TA so far in this game, as we see a great save from Dr. Aquatic there, and that should just about ice the game. A great 50 as well. Meki Ducky doing it all, 50s, hard shots, really playing a standout role in what's going to be a 2-0 win for the locals in game number 1.
And we might be seeing some hating by Leon RL for Meki Ducky, but he has made a huge difference in this match with a huge second goal. Top of the leaderboard with 555 points, 6 shots. I think that tells you all about the offensive control that Meki Ducky had, doesn't it?
Yeah, he was brilliant. I've always wanted to ask what Leon RL's relation to Meki Ducky is. If it's his girlfriend or friend or brother, because it's always funny seeing his Twitch chats throughout the stream. So thank you for being here. Toad Death as well, Deb and everybody in chat. Appreciate y'all being here for game 1. And yeah, Meki Ducky, there was some MVP shouts from Toad Death in the chat. And I think he's going to be one of those players, Maz, that we talk about being a potential MVP candidate for this season, and he showed you why in game 1.
Oh, absolutely. And not only is he going to be a big MVP candidate, I think he's going to bring the Batmobile back into fashion all on his own. It's good to see him really take charge with that car. You know, we've seen some players make use of unconventional and atypical cars and really do a lot of damage with them. Toad Death, most notably with the Masamune, one of my personal favorites, even though I'm not that good with it. And now you're seeing Meki Ducky with the Batmobile, being SGL's own cooks here. And it's really good to see that happen, you know, with, as you said earlier, with all the Octades and Fenix coming out.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I can't really speak as I only use the Fennec or the Octane. As you see, a great save from Rydog, by the way. But yeah, if you are one of those players, we have Toe Death in chat, who uses the Masamune, like you mentioned. Always love seeing the numerous cars on display as we see 2 whiffs from both teams. An open net miss after a whiff, but I believe Rydog there, was it Nelly? Very, very unconventional bit of play there from both teams, and the score remains 0-0.
So there are a couple of things I really noticed right there. One, the locals are taking complete control of that midfield. They're not letting Timbers Army out, but whenever Timbers Army come out, they do break out quickly. However, in that last attack, I saw AGD Delight get in the way, and now AGD Delight again struggling in the back, and he cannot deal with that, and KJ cleans up the mess and gives the locals a lead in game 2.
Yeah, awkward position from him there. Hits off the post, and he just can't really react in time to get back to KJ there. Great shot by KJ. KJ opening the scoring in both games 1 and 2 so far. He's always been in the right place at the right time, and that's just something we've become accustomed to here in SGL for KJ Doughboy, one of the better players in our league.
Meki Ducky trying to do it all on his own. He unfortunately could not get that shot on target, but he's still going. He has 30 boost. Let's see what we can cook up with that. Get something going with it. Tries to bump AGD Delight out of the way, but Delight bails out. Lets Rydog take control. Rydog, however, chooses to push it forward and not really try to take control. Works out, though. Nelly couldn't get that double touch. AGD Delight with 0 boost tries to take a shot, but doesn't get much out of it. And now it's KJ's turn to get the ball out of the back.
Yeah, Rydog had an amazing pass there mid. Nelly just kind of got a little under it there and missed wide. You really got to be scoring that if you are Timbers Army. Great play from Rydog to have a really impactful pass there. And yeah, if you're Timbers Army, you need more of that, and you need more finishing on those great passes when they come. And as we see, a great finish by Meki Ducky, again, in the right place at the right time. It did seem like TA was a little slow to that. Again, I think HA Delight a little bit off the pace there, but Meki Ducky, again, Maz, in the right place at the right time, opening up the score here. And it's what's fair to say, a pretty commanding start to the series for the locals.
Absolutely, and I feel like, I hate to say this, I don't want to single him out, but AGD Delight is being made out to be the odd one out in this whole matchup, and the locals are taking full advantage of him, pumping the balls towards him and forcing him to deal with, these attacks. And so far they're taking advantage of the disparity, in the skill set between him and his teammates. We'll see if that can continue, but so far, I'm going to give credit to AGD Delight. Despite his limitations, he has not looked too bad. If anything, I'd say he's improved compared to last season.
Yeah, obviously in our league, as we do see a miss there from Meki Ducky, one of the beauties of our league is we do have a mixture of player ranks within our supporters here. So it's always fun to watch the gameplay because it's always a lot different than what you're going to see in your ranked and whatever rank you're in. So even if you are a player at a lower rank, you're still able to contribute in ways in which normally you wouldn't see at the rank that you play at, for sure.
And that's what it's all about. It's all about that incremental improvement. And we're starting to see that with Delight. And over time, I think even in this matchup itself, he's going to become more influential. He's going to become better as he gets accustomed to the pace of the game. Nice little bump right there to give some time to Nelly to build up this attack, but Meki Ducky clears it out relatively easily. Rydog with a nice touch, but it's a bit too loose, and it gives Meki Ducky a chance to go forward. He has all the time in the world. Shoots it towards the back. Oh my goodness, that was a little bit awkward for Nelly right there. He couldn't make the save right there, and it's 3-0 already to the locals.
Yeah, I thought maybe Nelly didn't have enough boost there, but he just kind of got under it, jumping off the sidewall. And it's 3-0, and it must be said, this is very comfortable for the locals. The rotations are on point. Boost is always in relatively good numbers. And as we see Meki Ducky open double tap, and he hits it. I mean, this is Meki Ducky here in the Batmobile doing Meki Ducky things, and it's 4-0 to the locals, and a clippable goal for sure. That better be in the clip channel, Meki Ducky. You need to be seeing that.
What an insane ceiling shot right there. That is the power of the Batmobile, folks. The car may look like it may be going under the ball, but with its surface area, you're sure to get a nice contact. And Meki Ducky, once again, gets a goal off the ceiling. I feel like he's one of the better players in SGL for those ceiling shots. Well done to him. And I feel like the locals have this game on lock. I struggle to see how Timbers Army can come back here.
Yeah, you really do feel for TA here. They've been thoroughly outplayed in what feels like every facet of the game. And I don't want to harp on TA too much. I think this is just the locals absolutely balling. They're playing a phenomenal game. And correct me if I'm wrong, Maz, but I think they're missing Red, right? I'm pretty sure he's one of also their better players. So this is a scary sight, I feel, for the rest of the league looking at this display.
Yeah, exactly. And Raid, I think he's probably going back to school now, so his time on RL may be numbered in this season. But that's the crazy part. You know, Dr. Aquatic is playing a lot more in his place, and not much has changed. If anything, it's making Meki Ducky play so much better because he's now the main man. And the whole team is built around him. And we're starting to see what damage he can do against all sorts of opponents right here. As Meki Ducky gets yet another goal. Great team goal right there, by the way. Really awesome play by Dr. Aquatic to go there and hunt the keeper down, get that big demo, and see this game off.
Yeah, impressive game too. I mean, this is one of the better displays that we've seen so far throughout Season 8. I can't really think of another game as unless you can, unless you have another option. But this has been probably the best game I've seen so far of a team, best performance from a team in Season 8. And yeah, the locals, they're cruising. I mean, when Meki Ducky is dropping 800 points, you got to be loving life if you're a locals fan and/or player. So let's see if Timbers Army can change things up, as we do see Raid, I think, coming in. So right on cue, as we were just speaking about him, he does join the lobby. So let's see. I'm interested to see who the locals take out, because they are cruising. And so maybe they feel, hey, we're cruising. We have a little bit of some leeway in this series. Let's go ahead and bring Raid in and see if he can add to the tournament.
And on top of that, we also see Piglet get into the lobby. So there's a chance that Timbers Army might have the full-strength team. We might see an interesting Game 3 right here. But, you know, with how good the locals have looked in the first two games, all the momentum is on their side. So we'll see.
Maz, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that this three we're going to see this game out of Timbers Army was the lineup that we did see last weekend, I believe, right? Against
that is correct. This is their strongest lineup, and this is the team that took Black Army to 5 games, and also could have beaten them too. So we'll see what kind of challenge they can pose with the locals right here.
Yeah, and no Raid checking in for the locals, as we did see him join the in-game lobby. And, well, he's not needed because we have KJ Doughboy for the 3rd game in a row, opening the scoring for the locals. Just kind of a misplaced pass there by Piglet, and Nelly just kind of in an awkward no man's land position, and not the start that you want to see if you're Timbers Army trying to get back in the series. 1-0 to the locals.
Yeah, I would say I hate to see that, because that was a very unfortunate in the grand scheme of things, but it was a poor play from Piglet, and they got instantly punished for it. And you know, in this kind of situation, when you have your strongest lineup out, you cannot afford to make any mistakes. And we see a beautiful pass from Aquatic to Ducky. Ducky gets it out of the backboard, shoots it into the near side, and Nelly's able to save that. Piglet's trying to settle into the game. He looks a little off the pace right now, but I think he'll get into as this game develops. Meki Ducky once again into the back of the net, off of the crossbar, and that creeps in over the goal line. Meki Ducky just cannot miss.
Yeah, you look here, it's just 2 players for TA, whiff on the ball, and Meki Ducky again putting a ball in a very tough spot for the defenders. And honestly, you do expect a little bit more there from the TA defenders. They're 2 quality players, and sometimes Rocket League is a game of momentum. When the momentum's just not on your side, goals like that can go in, and Meki Ducky is taking full advantage.
Big time. And one thing I want to highlight that I kind of highlighted earlier week 1. There's been a lot of time given to Meki Ducky, but hold the phone right there, because Piglet has made an impact as the Game 3 sub. He gets the goal back for Timbers Army.
Yeah, great pass from Nelly into the middle to Piglet. Piglet just coming into the series, probably had no warm-up, so it's going to take him a little bit to get into this game. And just the response that you wanted from TA after going down 2-0, and let's see if they can make this a series.
Ball's right in the middle. Doughboy and Ducky double committing, but it's fine for now. Nelly and a Fennec this time getting away from the Octane, and Mecky Ducky capitalizes yet again. Loose ball all the time in the world. That little bump did nothing to him. Like a stone, he goes through, gets that shot. 3-1 to the locals.
Yeah, just an awkward touch from Nelly there that Mecky Ducky does capitalize on. It's one of those balls where sometimes just leaving it and not hitting it might be the best option, letting the ball roll into your back corner in a safe location. But again, Mecky Ducky is just in the right place at the right time to capitalize on any of these mistakes tonight. And as we do see an infield pass, nothing there for Mecky Ducky, but he's hovering in the offensive zone and doing Mecky Ducky things.
Ooh. And right at that moment, the Timbers Army side had a good chance to get a second goal, but Rydog barely missed. They're getting some momentum right here, though. They're starting to get a bit of control. Let's see if Piglet can win a 50 off here. Nice touch from Dr. Aquatic, and this gives Mecky Ducky a chance to take control. Mecky Ducky gets a demo and a cross. Couldn't get the second bump. And Rydog clears it out to the near side. Shot in towards the back of the net. Big demo and big goal by Doughboy. 3-goal lead once again with less than 3 minutes to go. The momentum is well and truly on the local side right now.
Yeah, KJ Doughboy doing the classic demo goal. He's just being a menace in the offensive half, really putting his foot down in this series. One of the better series that I've seen KJ play in a while. Good to see that from a player like him, somebody who, I don't know, sometimes gets outshined by his more mechanical teammates, but he's come to play today, and it's proving dividends for the locals in this series.
And it's a good thing you highlighted that as well. You know, we've talked about player improvements throughout the season. As Mecky Ducky tries to get a rebound goal off of that tight angle, couldn't make it. But going back to the locals, you know, we talked about player improvements all over the board. Can we say the same thing about Doughboy and Aquatic as well? Do you think they've improved too as Mecky Ducky gets yet another goal?
Yeah, I mean, these are players that are pretty commonly held to be one of the better improving players in the league, and they're showing that today. And yeah, you just got to feel for TA here. I mean, having watched them play Black Army last week, I mean, I really expected a lot better, and I think they would tell you the same. It's just hasn't been their day. The cohesion, the chemistry just hasn't been there today. Yeah, this is going to be one of those series that if you're TA, you just kind of look at and say, hey, like, we got to just let this go. It happens. As you see Rydog snipe an upper 90 there. 3-goal game still, but yeah, just kind of expected a little bit better from TA Mavs, if I'm being honest. And I think, again, they would say the same thing, and hopefully they bounce back. You know, maybe in this game, but going forward into next week.
Yeah, I think I have to say this, but losing those 2 games in the manner that they did kind of hurt them. I think it affected their mentality too. You know, once they brought Piglet back in, I think they were kind of forced to go out and really try to take the initiative, and I think that played into the locals' hands because they just look really comfortable right now. With that said, we still have quite a bit of time, and 1 goal back right here can change things. Big save by Dr. Aquatic. It looked relatively easy, but that little moment can be a defining point for this match. Still a lot of pressure. Oh, how do you not get a shot on target in that moment? Once again, the fine margins, the little things.
Listen, that open net just sums up the entirety of the series for Timbers Army. No locals player anywhere in the vicinity, and we have 2 whiffs there. It's just been one of those games. We've all been there. Rocket League's a cruel game, and sometimes you have these sorts of moments as teams, as players, and it's just not TA's series, and it sure is the locals as well playing tremendous. So yeah, that game was, or that play was emblematic of what we've seen so far.
I fully agree. I think if I was Timbers Army, I'd just say, okay, we made a lot of mistakes. We could chalk it off as a bad night, but let's see what mistakes we've made that we can eradicate in future matches. Because there's no way they looked this bad against Black Army. They were so spectacular. You know, it's a shame we couldn't get that in an SGL stream, but take our word for it. Timbers Army looked really good. And they're still looking pretty good right here. You know, a 2-goal deficit with less than 30 seconds to go. We've seen bigger comebacks occur, so never say never.
Yeah, there's plenty of time in this game to get back in this game if you are Timbers Army. And yeah, it just takes 1 kickoff goal here. I'm interested to see what the kickoffs are for both teams. To to see if we have any sort of plays, comms. We got a back right to Rydog. Very tough touch there for Rydog. Piglet needs to get there to avoid the open net, and he does tremendously there. And we've got 10 seconds. It's now or never if you're Timbers Army, and it has to be now. A goal has to happen for them here
Right
on
now.
this play.
This is it.
This has to be a goal.
Oh my goodness.
And-
2
there
seconds
you
to go. 1 goal deficit. Never say never, folks.
I honestly, God, thought they missed on a double commit too. I was gonna say that was the Timbers Army series in a nutshell. But they do have a chance here. We got 2 seconds, Maz.
As the clock ticks down to what is potentially the final kickoff. Here we go. Piglet, and the ball's on the ground. Oh, that's not the sort of kickoff you need if you're Timbers Army. The locals sneak through in game 3. But at the end of the day, they sweep Timbers Army in what was a convincing match. Well done to them. GG's overall.
Yeah, great series from the locals. I mean, that was fantastic. I thought they played a lot better in this series than they played against Steel Army in week 1. That was just tremendous play. I think Meki Ducky probably averaged like 800 points a game or whatever in the series. He was tremendous. Doughboy with the opening goal in all 3 games as well was tremendous. And again, just an overall fantastic series from them. I don't want to take anything away from them with some of the criticisms we had for TAs and some of the moments here this series, Maz. So great series. The locals are now 2-0, and they've started off strong this SGL season. If you're TA, again, like we said in commentary, it's just one of these series where you see all the mistakes, all the double commits, all the whiffs, and you just say, hey, like this is a series that happens. We move on, and we look to start building in the weeks to come. And yeah, so not too sure, Maz, what your thoughts are on the series. If you want to add anything to that.
I think those first 2 games set the tone. I think with the confidence that both that the locals were playing in, and with the lack of confidence that Timbers Army had, you could see it in game 3 when they got the stronger lineup out. They were just not there mechanically. They were, screwing up their aerials. They were mistiming their, the mistiming the low things, like when to apply the boost, when to jump, when to get into a certain position. I think they were just a little rattled after the first 2 games, but I think they can shake this off and realize this was just not our night. Let's make sure to eradicate these mistakes in the next game and bounce back, because they are definitely a better team than this, as we've seen already.
Absolutely, and we should be getting some post-game interviews for you guys here. Again, I appreciate everybody in chat, everybody for being here at what is now 12:30 Eastern, 9:30 on the West Coast, I do believe, if the maths are mathin'. Yeah, we should be getting some interviews here shortly.
Absolutely. We will be having K Doughboy coming in very shortly. Let's have him ready to go. And
Pub 1, lads. There we go.
there he is. KJ, how you doing?
Hello. I am good. How are you, gentlemen?
We're
Doing
good.
fantastic. Awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. That was just a lot of high quality Rocket League, and I personally enjoyed that. But I was surprised at how dominant you guys looked. Do you guys think it was going to be this easy for you?
I did not. I know we had 2 really good series with Timbers Army last season, so I was expecting a really close one. They clearly didn't have their best lineup available for the first couple of games. I think they make that Piglet sub, or Piglets available earlier, and it's a little bit different series.
Yeah, to piggyback off of what Maz was saying, KJ, I mean, that was, for me at least, probably some of the best Rocket League that I've seen you guys play in your time in HDL. Meki Ducky, man, that guy is actually really good at this game. And just seeing him do some of the stuff that he can do in the Batmobile of all cars. Just speak to me a little bit about him, that amazing double touch as well, and just, yeah, his overall play within y'all's team.
Yeah, he's a real calming influence too, which is good. He's so experienced. He's obviously he's a much higher rank than either of me or Aquatic. But he's a calming experience. He really he directs well, and he's as the name said, he's mechy. Especially, I guess he said he used to main the Batmobile and has just been feeling it again in it, and it shows.
Yeah, and I really hope he did clip that one he had off the ceiling because that was tremendous. Just the way he used the ceiling to retain his flip there. That was tremendous, and you guys as well were tremendous, KJ. I think you actually opened the scoring, I believe, in all 3 of the games. So yeah, shout out to you, and you just seem to be in the right spot at the right time this series.
I was kind of poaching, no lie. You've seen me in these last few seasons. I'm more of a defensive player, but I try to get myself into the right place at the right time.
So, KJ, I have a question for you. Uh, with you, Aquatic, and Ducky, you guys seem to have a stable 3 now, and you guys seem to be really comfortable in all of your roles. Was this something you guys were building up to in preparation for Season 8, or is this something that just spontaneously occurred and you guys decided to keep rolling with it?
It's been a scheduling thing so far. When the 3 of us can make it is when it's working out best to schedule the games. Raid, I think, school's back in session, and he plays actual soccer as well, so he's got a little bit more limited schedule now, so we haven't been able to work him in quite yet. But we definitely hope to. I mean, you've seen him play. It would be a crime to keep him out of our games.
Yeah, we did see him appear in the lobby, and I was surprised he didn't turn up. Was that a call made by the team altogether just to keep that momentum going?
Oh, I totally made that call. Like he popped into our VC in the middle of game 2, and I wanted to get him in the party in the game if he wanted to watch. But I told him, like, we're on 2-0. I'm not changing it at this point.
I mean, that's perfectly reasonable. If you're going well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So I totally get it. Hopefully we'll see more of Raid down the line in future matches. With that said, how do you feel about your season prospects after the first couple of matches so far?
Pretty good, honestly. I mean, we haven't played any of what I would consider the real top tier teams. We've definitely played a couple of teams that I think are closer to our level. Next week is our first big test, I would say, with ECRC, especially with them having added Gojo, and I played in a different league with him for a season, and he's something else. So, he and Meki, I don't want to say they cancel each other out, or they're both going to be up in the air doing their thing, and the rest of us are definitely going to have to step up.
Oh, absolutely. But I feel like you have already stepped up. You and Aquatic have become way more consistent, and you both give the platform to Meki Ducky to play his game. Tell us about how you both have adjusted to that role, because if you remember season 5 and 6, Aquatic was just a goal scoring machine. And then last season and now this season he's playing way more of a supporting role. So how does it feel about transitioning into more of that supportive role than, being more upfront and getting the goals?
I mean, anytime you play with a player like Ducky, you got to let him do his thing. Like, you can't hold somebody like that down. It'd be just silly. Obviously we're not just going to sit and make him do everything, although his backpack is comfortable, no doubt. But, we definitely, we're both a little more defensive players at heart, especially me. So I got no problem kind of letting him, not necessarily run the show, but, being there for support more than leading it. Because, again, you got a player like that, you got to let him show his talents.
Sounds good. Well, I want to give you the floor, but before I do, Luis, do you have anything else you want to ask, KJ?
No, I'll just say, yeah, if y'all play like that, I think y'all got a really good chance this season to be contenders for the league, and it was really fun to watch y'all play. And yeah, just give you the floor here to your fans in chat and to your fans watch, and the floor is all yours.
Oh, cool. Shout out to any of the locals that are watching. I don't know if anybody's been so far yet this season, but we appreciate that you're there. Shout out as always to y'all for getting the league together. It's a lot of fun. It's a real nice bonding experience with this group of people, especially since we haven't had a team, specifically to watch from the locals yet this season. So, that's about it.
Absolutely. And I will say one final thing. I love some of the graphics you've been making for the locals to present your team's progress in SGL this season. And I can't wait to see what you have in store for the rest of the season. I think that'll go a long way to, you know, get more eyes onto SGL from your group.
Yeah, thanks. I've been posting those in the locals Discord just to, kind of put a little more pizzazz into our updates. And I think right now locals are having a transition of social media person, so we haven't gotten it out into the larger world as of yet. But I'm kind of hoping we might see it out there as some promo, because they in the past have definitely promoted the team.
Absolutely. We cannot wait. So we'll have to let you go now, KJ. Thank you very much for the interview. Appreciate the time. GG's, well done, and have a good night.
Okay, thank you, gentlemen.
Peace.
So we're not done yet, Luis. We actually have one more interview lined up. We have a Timbers Army player coming in for an interview. Let's drag him in right now. Let's not make him wait too long. So, welcome on in, Rydog. How you doing, man? How you feeling right now?
Truthfully, not great. Credit to locals. They're really, really good. I mean, I said it on the commentating booth last week. Mackie Ducky's freaking crazy. Another MVP level performance from him and the rest of locals. So they are not a team to sleep on. So rest of the league, watch out, especially when Mackie Ducky's in that pancake of a car of the Batmobile.
Fully agree.
Yeah, I'll hop in. I just think that was obviously a tough series. I think y'all would say as well that it wasn't y'all's best performance. I think obviously last week, I think y'all put in a better shift. Yeah, what was the just disconnect from last week to this week in terms of performance, would you say?
Probably a little bit of practice time. We decided to go with Goddamn Delight or Greg to start. And we got some games in over the weekend, and we were actually feeling good. We actually ended up winning one of the in-game Rocket League tournaments as well. And so I was feeling pretty good after that. I thought we were playing really well. And then Greg messages us yesterday and just says that he's not feeling the best, and so he's been literally down for the count and stuff. So and I'm not putting the blame on that for sure. I mean, I think we all played like shit, but that kind of took the wind out of my sails a little bit, just because I thought, like I said, we were playing so well after that in-game tournament, and then just to not replicate that kind of sucks. And then yeah, we brought in Piglet to see if we could salvage anything, and we did towards the end, but obviously our defense was super poor. I think we let in 15 or some goals in 3 games, which is just you can't win Rocket League like that. So we needed about 4.5 games to warm up apparently today. So
I wouldn't be that disheartened though, Rydog. I will say this. Despite the tough showing, I feel like AGD Delight has gotten better, and I hope he knows this as well. I can see the market improvements in his game for sure. It just sucks that he's had to face off against a really tough local side that are on top of their game right now. But, I can see the improvements coming in this game, and I hope he can show up some more. So how do you plan on incorporating him in so that he could get more game time this season?
Yeah, I'm really pleased with how he's progressed. I think he's actually been posting clips in our Discord of him hitting stealing shots and some crazy double taps and stuff too. So yeah, I'm very pleased with how he's progressed. Yeah, and so I think last year or last season maybe I was a little bit scared to put him in against certain teams just because I didn't know what the teams would throw at us. And now I'm more confident kind of slotting him into the lineup, partly because we know what each team is going to bring, and partly because of how much he's improved over the few months we've had an off season. I mean, Manta's on the game a ton. I wish he was on Steam. I think he's on Xbox. I wish he was on Steam, or if people know how to check game time the last 2 weeks for that, because he is constantly on the game and I love it. Whenever I pop on Discord, I always see him playing Rocket League, which, like I said, is awesome. But yeah, I think truthfully that local size was really good, and maybe just a little bit above his level of where he's at, and so that's on me. I wanted to give him some game time, and I told everybody that, the team, going in, and maybe I don't like giving people one game, just one game, because that I sometimes need one game to kind of settle in. but unfortunately, best of fives are so not forgiving in that. Like one game is literally 1/3 of the series at that point. And so after game two, we talked and we switched out Kyle for Greg, and at that point, I think it was just too late because you just don't have the, Kyle's coming in cold, and of course he was doing a little bit of warm ups, but just the chemistry and stuff that we normally have wasn't there just because we were shifting things around. But no, you'll definitely see more of him later in the season. Because like I said, he deserves it. He's been improving so much. It's just on me to determine what games he gets in and in what scenarios he can get in.
Yeah, for sure. And I think with the rest of the league also improving, it's a good time to get involved. And I think for him, he's gonna face some decent tests where he won't be as outmatched as he was tonight. With that said, your next matchup in week 3 is against Emerald City Defiance. So, in all honesty, that's a winnable game for you all. So, I guess we can expect to see more of Greg, aka AGD Delight, right?
I haven't really thought about next week yet. Just kind of on the surface level, that might be a good place to start. But I'll evaluate and everything because, like I said, it wasn't just him tonight. It was all of us. I didn't play up to standard. Nelly didn't play up to standards. He knows that. And so we'll do a full regroup and kind of talk before that match. But yeah, I agree it's winnable. They've improved, right? I got to commentate both their games these past few weeks, and they've improved since week 1. And so there's no team anymore that's really a cakewalk. I think last year you could have said that about a few teams, but I don't think you can say that anymore with some additions, some movement, roster movement, some just the way the teams have looked like from last year to this season or last season to this season, just the improvement. So yeah, we'll take that one at a time. That sounds like a next week problem, but we'll just get through the rest of this week. We'll play some games in the meantime, and we'll get ready for next week.
For sure. And I think you guys can dust this game off, and just move on to week 3. And on that note, I'm just wondering, what was the mental state like for you all in game 3, as you were subbing Piglet? And were you guys affected by the first 2 games, or were you guys able to dust that off?
Bringing Piglet in, we just need something to change. Obviously, those first 2 games were horrendous, and so I think it was a small mental boost, and then just kind of how the first 2-3 minutes played out, just getting scored on, Mecky Ducky going absolutely bonkers. Kind of deflated, at least me. And actually, that's why I just messaged Piglet. Actually, he was actually the one in our comms keeping us positive and hey guys, keep communicating. Those sorts of things, those little mental boosts. And so I'm super appreciative of that, especially when theoretically, quote unquote, that's my job, right, as the captain. But I appreciate him doing that. And yeah, so I think the mental state was slightly improved, and then we just kept getting scored on. At that point, it's just you have nothing to lose. So because it was like a 1-goal game at the end of the game, right? And so I think we just were like, hey, we got nothing to lose, just send the house, do weird stuff and stuff that they're not going to expect, and let's try and get back in this game. And ultimately did. It wasn't enough, but yeah, I think that answers that.
Well, look at it this way, at least you got 4 goals back in game 3, right? So at least that gives you some hope going into the rest of the season. And on that note, what do you feel like your season will be? What do you think your season will be like this season? Do you guys think you have a good chance, or do you guys think you'll be on the edge for the playoffs? Give me your thoughts after these first couple of weeks.
Yeah, it's tough. We open up with Black Army, which I've said could easily win the league this year with how they play. And then of course week 2 is locals, which of course you don't sleep on locals. They're always a team that you look at on paper and go, oh yeah, they're fine, whatever, we got this, and then they'll just smoke you like they did for us. Not saying that that's what we thought because we knew they were good, but I'm saying that that generally could be a thought process when you play against locals. No, I think we just take it week by week. we're still trying to. We haven't played the game as much together, just because of our crazy schedules. And so I think that's ultimately what's hurting us is we just don't have that chemistry that you guys probably know and love from the last SGL season. So we promise we're working on that to get that back. But no, I think we got a good shot at playoffs. I think we just need to bring our best every week, and that was obviously not tonight. And those are points off the table. We're slipping towards the bottom now. But it's just week 2. We got 8 more weeks, 9 more weeks to go. So still plenty of time. But yeah, we got some things to figure out, and we'll bounce back.
Sounds good, Rydog. Sounds good. Now I want to give the floor to you so that you can give your shout out to say what you need to say. So go right ahead, dude.
Yeah, thanks everybody for tuning in. Appreciate it. Debit, Counting Gang, love you, bro. Yeah, no, I appreciate all you guys, of course. I know I know what it's like being in the booth, and I appreciate you guys commentating. I wish we would have put on a better show, but just I guess wasn't made in the cards today. But we'll be back. We'll be stronger, and yeah, for the rest of you watching, stay tuned in the announcements in the SGL Discord for the rest of the matches this week.
Absolutely. Well, look, Rydog, it may have been a tough night, but that game 3 gives you guys some hope, I feel, for what you guys could potentially achieve. So keep that chin up. I think you guys will do just fine. Well, GG's. Thank you for playing this match tonight. Thank you for this interview as well. Appreciate the time. And have yourself a good night, dude. We'll catch you next time.
Yeah, have a good night, guys.
Peace. Yep. Right, so that does it for today's stream. I do want to do a quick recap of the results this week up to now so that we could see where we are at this stage. So I'm going to jump right into the week fixtures, so bear with me for that as we switch over to that screen. So as you can see right now, the locals got swept by locals swept Timbers Army. ECRC beat Steel Army 3-1, and Black Army swept the Defiance. And we have a couple more matches left. KC Calden versus the Rebellion, which is scheduled for Sunday, and El Matador versus Los Verdes, which is scheduled for Friday. So we can't wait to see you all come on in for these last 2 matches of this week, and we hope you guys will enjoy the show. Luis, any thoughts from you before we end the stream?
Yeah, great. Again, great stream. Appreciate everybody being here. Locals played amazing, and yeah, TA will bounce back. But yeah, looking forward to EM's first game this week, and yeah, appreciate everybody being here. And yeah, that's about it.
Absolutely. I don't want to keep you guys on for too long because it's late in the night for us. It's late in the night for most of y'all. So thank you very much for being in the stream. We really appreciate it. Have yourselves a wonderful night, and we'll catch you all next time. Peace.